The twin sons of Velora beat down relentlessly on the cracked orange soil. Dust swirled across the barren landscape and the air shimmered with heat, carrying the faint metallic tang of minerals. Nira, a Velan mother, moved slowly across the ground, her forelegs steady but exhausted. Her three daughters ran ahead, their small bodies agile and quick, searching for any signs of life, any signs of food. Food was scarce on this world. Velans had evolved in harsh conditions, but even their resilience had limits. Water was rare, plants were few, and animals had grown cautious, hiding deep in the jagged canyons. Nira's heart ached as she watched her daughters' gaunt faces and thin limbs. They were bright-eyed, intelligent for their age, but weak from hunger. "I'll find something," she whispered to herself, though her voice was heavy with despair. "I must find something." For weeks, Nira had been scavenging. She had caught small rodents, roots, and bitter herbs, but it was never enough. Her daughters needed protein, energy, and strength, more than mere survival scraps. She had given everything she could, even her own rations, yet they were still fading. Her stomach tightened in worry and hunger. She knew the reality. If she could not feed them soon, they might not survive. One evening, while Nira rested beside a rocky outcrop, she saw something strange moving on the horizon. A sleek silver craft descended from the sky, kicking up dust as it landed. Nira's instincts screamed at her to hide, but her curiosity and desperation drew her closer. She had never seen a human ship before. Humans were rare in this sector, and most Velans feared them. The ship's door hissed open and a figure emerged. He was tall, with pale skin and dark hair, wearing a suit that shimmered faintly under the twin suns. Nira's heart thudded. He was human. She had heard stories of humans, traders, explorers, sometimes saviors, often dangerous. But this one moved slowly, deliberately, and his eyes scanned the landscape with interest rather than hostility. "I am Jace," the human said, his voice calm and steady. He did not approach too quickly, as if he understood fear. "I am here to trade. I hear you have a need." Nira's eyes narrowed. "What would a human want from me?" she asked cautiously. Jace smiled faintly. "I collect rare biological materials. Some I study, some I trade." "I understand. You have something of great value." Nira felt a chill. She knew immediately what he meant. The Velans' hearts were unique. They were not just organs, they were energy cores, vessels of life and emotion. Selling a heart was taboo, dangerous, and usually a final choice for a desperate parent. It could shorten a lifespan, weaken the body, even risk death. Yet here was a human offering to buy one. Her mind raced. Could she do it? Could she sacrifice part of herself to save her daughters? She looked at their small faces, the shadows of hunger on their cheeks, and her resolve hardened. I have no choice," she murmured. "I will do it." Jace's eyes softened. "You will not regret this. I will return what you give in a way you cannot imagine." Nira hesitated only a moment. Then she extended her hand, or rather, her limb adapted for the act. Jace carefully examined it, his hands gentle as he prepared the tools to remove her heart. Pain flashed through her as the procedure began, sharp and immediate, but it was over quickly. The human took the heart with care, placing it into a glowing container. Nira collapsed onto the ground, weak and trembling. Her daughters gathered around her, chattering with worry. "Mother," they cried. "Are you hurt?" "I am." "Fine," she said, though her voice was thin. She felt a hollow ache inside, a deep emptiness that was both physical and emotional, but she had done it. Her daughters would eat. Her daughters would live. Jace looked at her, studying her reactions. "This heart," he said, "is not just an organ. It carries your essence. I will ensure it serves its purpose fully." Nira did not understand his words, but she nodded, too exhausted to question. Jace handed her a small satchel filled with nutrient-rich food, enough to last several weeks. Her daughters' eyes widened in joy as they devoured it immediately. For the first time in many days, Nira felt relief, but relief was fragile. The next days were strange. Though weak, Nira began to notice changes in her daughters. They ran faster, their minds sharper. Plants she planted near her home grew unusually quickly, their green leaves vibrant in the harsh soil. The air seemed lighter, the ground more fertile. Nira wondered if it was some miracle, or the effect of the human's intervention. Rumors began spreading among the nearby Velan clans. A human had come, taken a heart, and returned blessings. Some were skeptical, suspicious of trickery. Others whispered in awe, believing humans had powers beyond imagination. Nira avoided their gaze. She could not explain what had happened. All she knew was that her daughters were thriving, stronger than they had ever been. One evening, a message arrived via a glowing orb delivered by Jace's small drone. It floated silently to her side, projecting words in Velan script. "The heart you gave is not lost. It will return when the time is right." Nira stared at the words. Could this be true? Could the human actually restore what she had sacrificed? Her mind whirled with hope and fear. She feared being deceived, yet dared to imagine a future where she could be whole again. Days passed, and Jace returned briefly to check on her. He did not linger long, but spoke gently to Nira. "The energy you shared is alive, and it will find its way back to you. You have given more than a heart. You have given a chance for life, for growth, for hope." Nira looked at him, her mind racing. She wanted to ask how, why, or if it was safe, but she found no words. Jace merely nodded as if understanding her thoughts without them being spoken. He departed as silently as he had arrived, leaving behind a small device that monitored the soil and energy levels around her home. It hummed softly, almost like a heartbeat. Her daughters continued to thrive. Their laughter returned, full and bright, echoing across the barren plains. Nira watched them with pride, even as she felt the emptiness inside her. She was still alive, still moving, but the hollow ache reminded her of the sacrifice she had made. At night, she looked up at the twin suns setting on the horizon. She imagined the human, somewhere far away, holding her heart, studying it and protecting it. It was a strange thought that a human, so different from any Velan, could care for something so intimately, so personally. She wondered what other humans were like. Could any of them be this compassionate? Could humans ever be allies instead of strangers or invaders? Her daughters nestled beside her as she drifted into a restless sleep. Even in exhaustion, Nira felt a spark of hope. She did not know what the future held, but she knew this. Humanity had changed her world, even if only a little. And perhaps one day it would change it even more. The next morning, as the first rays of the suns touched the land, Nira noticed the plants outside her dwelling were taller, greener, almost glowing. Her daughters ran through the small patches of growth, laughing and playing, stronger and healthier than ever before. Nira's eyes filled with tears. The human's gift had not only saved her daughters, it had transformed the land around them. And somewhere in the distance, she sensed the faint hum of Jace's presence, always watching, always guarding, ensuring that what she had given would not be wasted. Nira understood something then. She had sold a part of herself, yes, but the human had returned something far greater. A chance, a hope, a future. Her daughters would survive. She would live. And perhaps one day, the heart she had given would return to her, not just as an organ, but as a symbol of connection between species, of trust, and of the extraordinary nature of humans. For now she would wait. She would nurture her daughters. She would protect them with every ounce of strength left in her body. And she would remember the human who had taken her heart, not to destroy it, but to amplify life itself. Weeks passed on Velora, and Nira watched her daughters flourish. Their laughter filled the small shelter they called home, their bodies stronger, their minds sharper. They ran farther, climbed higher, and played with a kind of energy that Nira had never seen before. She still felt the hollow ache where her heart had been, but she no longer feared for their survival. The sun rose one morning, casting golden light across the orange plains. Nira noticed something unusual, a soft hum in the air like a heartbeat carried on the wind. She looked around, her senses alert. Then she saw it. A small human craft descending silently, barely kicking up dust. Her heart, her real heart, or at least the place it had once occupied, skipped a beat. The craft landed and the door opened. Jace stepped out, calm and deliberate as always, holding a small glowing sphere in his hands. Nira instinctively stepped back, unsure what to expect. Her daughters ran to her side, curious but cautious. "This is for you," Jace said, holding out the sphere. "The heart you gave has returned." Nira stared at him, her mind struggling to comprehend. "Returned? How?" Jace shook his head gently. "It is more than just a heart now. It carries your essence, yes, but it has been strengthened, enhanced. I could not leave it as it was. It would have been wasted." She hesitated, fear and hope warring inside her. Slowly she reached out, taking the glowing sphere. The moment her hands touched it, warmth flowed through her. It was a deep, pulsing warmth that spread from her chest, filling the emptiness she had felt for weeks. Pain and fear melted into a powerful energy, as if life itself was returning. Her daughters gasped. Their mother's eyes glowed faintly and a gentle hum echoed from her body. Plants near their home began to shimmer and grow even faster, their leaves vibrant and strong. Nira felt a bond forming, not just with her children but with the world around her. Energy pulsed through the soil, through the air, and even through the water she had collected days before. Jace watched silently, a small smile on his face. You have given your life willingly for your daughters. That choice, your courage, it has amplified everything. Now it returns to you, stronger, fuller, more alive than before. Nira knelt, holding the sphere to her chest. Her breathing deepened, her strength returned. She could feel her body mending, her mind sharpening. The hollow ache was gone. She looked at her daughters, who were staring in awe. "And I'm whole again," she whispered. Tears ran down her cheeks, a mixture of relief and joy. One of her daughters, the smallest, stepped forward. "Mother, we felt it. We felt your heart all along." Nira hugged her, holding all three close. Their bodies were warm, filled with vitality. The bond between them was stronger than ever, strengthened not just by love but by the energy that now coursed through them. The villagers, who had been watching from a distance, slowly approached. They had been wary of Jace, suspicious of humans, but seeing the mother restored and her daughters thriving changed everything. Whispers spread among the Valons. Humans were not only intelligent, they were compassionate, capable of understanding life in ways the Valons could barely imagine. Nira addressed the villagers. "This human, he did not take my heart to harm us. He returned it stronger than before. He has saved my daughters and changed my life. We must see humans not as threats, but as allies." Some villagers nodded, some murmured in disbelief, but all were curious. A few cautious ones stepped closer, asking questions about the human, his technology, and his intentions. Jace answered them patiently, explaining how life energy could be amplified and shared. He spoke of humans' desire to help and to understand other species, not merely to conquer or exploit. Nira noticed a change in her daughters. They had not only regained strength, they had grown beyond normal limits. Their eyes sparkled with intelligence and their movements were precise and confident. They began exploring the environment, helping tend the plants that now thrived around their home. It was clear that whatever Jace had done with her heart, it had not only healed her but had also enhanced her daughter's abilities. As the days went by, Nira learned more about the technology Jace had used. It was complex, but she could feel its effect in the simplest ways. The way plants flourished, the air seemed cleaner, and the small wildlife in their area grew healthier and more active. Even the soil beneath her feet hummed with energy, responding to life in ways she could not explain. One evening, as the twin suns set, Nira and her daughters sat on a rocky hill, watching the light fade across the plains. Jace had left, but he had placed a small device in their home. It monitored life energy, soil quality, and food growth. It was subtle, but its effect was powerful. "I still don't understand how it works," Nira said softly, "but I feel stronger, and so do the girls. I can live. We can survive. We can even thrive." Her eldest daughter leaned against her. "Mother, we can do more now. We can help others, maybe. Maybe humans can help everyone." Nira smiled, a warmth spreading through her chest beyond anything Jace had returned. "Perhaps one day. For now, we live and we grow, and we remember the human who changed our fate." The season shifted quickly on Valora. Plants that had once struggled now flourished. The small community of Valons began experimenting with cultivation, learning from the subtle guidance of the energy Jace had returned to Nira. Food became abundant where it had been scarce. Children grew healthy and strong. Nira's family became a symbol among the Valons. They represented courage, sacrifice, and the extraordinary bond that could exist between species. The story of the human who returned a mother's heart spread far across the plains, inspiring other Valons to reconsider their distrust of outsiders. One day, a group of young Valons approached Nira, curious and eager to learn. They asked about the human, about the heart, about the changes that had occurred. Nira looked at them, thinking of her own daughters, and told them simply, "Courage and sacrifice are powerful, but compassion can change the world." Jace's presence became a memory, yet it lingered in every pulse of energy that flowed through their lives. Nira felt connected not only to her daughters but to the larger universe. She realized that life was not merely about survival, it was about connection, understanding, and the choices one made for others. Her daughters played nearby, their laughter echoing across the plains, as vibrant and alive as the plants that surrounded them. Nura watched, feeling a profound sense of peace. She was whole. Her daughters were thriving. And humanity, in its quiet, deliberate way, had proven that it could be a force for life, not destruction. As night fell and the twin moons rose, Nura whispered a quiet thanks to the stars, to the universe, and to the human who had returned what she had sacrificed. The energy that now flowed within her was more than physical. It was hope, resilience, and a promise of the future. For the first time in many years, Nira did not fear the harsh world around her. She had survived, she had sacrificed, and she had been given back more than she had ever imagined. Humanity, with its strange technology and even stranger compassion, had left a mark on her life that would endure for generations. The story of Nira and her daughters became a tale of hope, told across Velora. It spoke of courage, sacrifice, and the extraordinary power of a human who chose to return a heart, rather than take it. And somewhere far away, Jace continued his travels, his work quiet but profound, knowing that a single act of compassion could change not just one life, but the destiny of an entire species. Nira held her daughters close as they slept under the twin moons. Her heart, once given away, now beat stronger than ever, a symbol of life restored and a bridge between worlds. She knew that challenges would come again, they always did, but she felt ready, fortified not only by strength but by the remarkable gift of humanity. And in that moment, under the quiet, watchful moons of Velora, Nira smiled. She had survived. She had given everything, and she had received back more than she could ever have dreamed. Life, love, and hope flowed through her, her daughters, and the land itself. The universe felt vast, yes, but suddenly it also felt full of possibility.